Nicola Furlong, a young Irish schoolgirl, goes to Japan for the most exciting experience of her life, a Nicki Minaj concert. Now that's a dream that anybody who loves Nicki Minaj would dream of. To be able to witness their favorite artist perform live, and that's an experience that they would remember forever. It was the same thing for Nikola as well. However, the poor soul did not realize that this would be the last day of her life. Behind the closed door at the Tokyo hotel where she decided to stay, Nikola's body lay lifeless. The authorities entered the scene and only had one question in their head. Who killed this 21-year-old and why? What threat did she possess? How did a normal night out with friends suddenly turn into a horrific murder that shocked 2 continents? How did the authorities crack this case? This is the chilling story of Nicola Furlong.
We got her name cleared, and that's what I came out, hopefully get more of a sentence, but it didn't happen. We went with the Japanese. It's their country. I'll take it. I don't want to ever hear his name mentioned again. So whatever happens from now on, I'm no interest in him whatsoever.
Nicola Furlong, a smart and adventurous 21-year-old student, went to Tokyo, Japan as a part of an exchange program from the university in Dublin, Ireland, to Takasaki City University of Economics, near Tokyo, Japan. In 2011, she moved to Takasaki City. In 2011, she moved to Takasaki City University of Economics, near Tokyo. This was actually a 1-year exchange program, and she was supposed to return to her home in Ireland in July 2012. This should have been the most special and exciting time of her life. A new city, endless dreams, and a fresh start. But fate had other plans. When Furlong's exchange program almost ended with only 2 months left, she went to Tokyo by train with another Irish student to attend a concert by Nicki Minaj in Odaiba district. It all began on May 24th, 2012. When Nikola went to Nicki Minaj's concert with friends, everything was fine until she met 2 strangers. 2 guys who ultimately changed her life forever. 2 guys who ultimately changed her life forever. Nikola and her friend decided to stay in Tokyo for a night clubbing, and then catch the first train home after the concert. After enjoying Nicki Minaj's concert, Miss Furlong went to the Tokyo Teleport Station. This is where the 2 girls met 2 African-American boys, Richard Hines and James Jamari Blackston. Hines was 19 years old and a musician by profession, whereas James Jamari Blackston was 23 and a dancer. The men were clearly attracted to these gorgeous women and were trying their best to impress. They were eager to offer drinks to the girls and asked them to hang out in the Shibuya district and propose a night stay in Shinjuku in one of their hotel rooms. However, Furlong and her friend declined that proposal instantly, but the guys weren't quitters and weren't ready to take no for an answer. They followed the girls and the group arrived at Scramble Bar in Shibuya. The girls simply brushed it off as the guys being friendly, but little did they know that this was a bullet they should have dodged. As a gesture of gratitude, Furlong's friends bought the guys a few rounds of drinks. To pay back the favor, Richard and Blackston also bought shots of tequila for the girls. However, this wasn't a normal shot of tequila, because behind this seemingly harmless act was an intent so sinister that even the darkest minds couldn't fathom. After a single shot, Furlong's friend totally blacked out and was not in her senses for several hours afterwards. It was 12:50 a.m. The girls were completely blacked out and had no sense of what was happening around them. And right then, Hines hailed a taxi, placed the girl Furlong and her friend in the back, and instructed the driver to take them to Keio Plaza Hotel. His intentions were only getting clearer by the minute. He drugged the girls so he could sexually abuse them while they lay there unconscious. However, their carefully crafted plan had a loophole they never saw coming. The 4 quickly reached the room in their taxi. Both girls were so intoxicated they couldn't walk, and the hotel staff had to arrange wheelchairs for them when they reached the hotel. Richard and Blackston then took Furlong and her friend to different rooms on the upper floor with the intention of sexually assaulting them. After around 3 hours, the hotel managers felt that something wasn't right. Around 3:20 a.m., the hotel manager knocked on their door to investigate a loud noise complaint. When he entered the room, he saw a sight that traumatized him to this very day. Furlong, lying on the floor, her lips turned white. She was not breathing and lay cold. The manager tried his best and even attempted emergency resuscitation. An ambulance was then called to transport Furlong and her friend to a nearby medical facility, but sadly they could not save Furlong. Furlong was declared dead at 3:55 a.m. in the emergency room of Tokyo Medical University Hospital. Richard and Blackston were arrested right away and taken into custody. On May 24, 2012, the very same celebrity they went to the concert to, Nicki Minaj, posted on her Twitter feed to express sadness over the murder of Furlong and to offer love and prayers to her family back in Ireland. The only silver lining was that Furlong's friend was alive and breathing, but Furlong was gone. Soon the trial for the murder of Nicola Furlong on the 4th of March 2013 happened. The trial was 16 days long and was a torture for the victim's family and a challenging one for the accused, Richard Hines. The prosecution was conducted under the Japanese legal system. Kenji Horikoshi was the lead prosecutor, and Richard Hines was represented by Kenji Hattori. Kenji Hattori focused on freeing Richard Hines, and to fulfill this agenda, he did everything possible, including insulting Nicola Furlong for seeking a man to offer drinks and hang out with. When the trial started, prosecutions accused Hines of strangling Furlong to death with a towel after getting her drunk, and possibly drugging her with the intent to commit something terrible. Whereas Kenji Hattori, the defense counselor, suggested that she actually died of a self-induced overdose of alcohol and drugs. Richard Hines had admitted several things. A few included confessing on matters like lightly pressing on her neck while they had what he claimed was consensual sex, but he denied intentionally killing her. Which brings me to my question. What is a perfect judicial system? Is it one where both parties are listened to and justice is served after the trial? Here in the Nicola Furlong murder case, both parties had their own different sides and both were listened to by the court of law. But the truth came to light in the form of the post-mortem report. Dr. Kenshi Yoshida, who performed the post-mortem examination on Furlong, asserted that she had died of strangulation. The defense counsel strongly claimed that alcohol had played some role in her death, but the post-mortem report denied this claim. Dr. Kenta Aida, who treated Nicola Furlong in the emergency room, gave her adrenaline injections, performed CPR, and inserted a breathing tube to keep her airway open. These medical procedures were the cause of the holes found in her body and the presence of lidocaine found in her blood. The case got only even clearer when in court, Furlong's friend testified that both men had declined the men's invitations to return to the hotel because of their long-term relationships. Hines, who later admitted that he had grabbed Furlong's neck, claimed that he did not intend to kill her. However, the prosecutor argued that his actual intent was to sexually assault her, and that's when Furlong resisted, and Hines strangled her. What happened was evident, but the only problem was a lack of clear evidence to prove the guy's guilty, and this is where the loophole we mentioned earlier came into play. Remember the taxi that the guys entered with the girls to get to the hotel? It had a camera on its back roof, which recorded every monstrous act they were committing to the girls. This completely changed the trajectory of the case. In the court, the prosecution produced some conversations that were recorded on the camera of that taxi, saying these fell in our lap and exchanging fist bumps. Hines said, "I can't wait to get an ATM." When asked to explain, he said that he was merely telling Blackston that he would get cash from the automated teller machine to pay him back for drinks. However, the prosecution asserted that he was actually referring to the pornographic slang term, ass to mouth, which was a clear indication of his intent to do something very horrible to Miss Furlong. Victim impact statements from Nicola Furlong's family were read in court, and the emotions were so intense that several jurors were brought to tears. Her mother expressed disgust at the defense's attempt to slander Nicola's name, while her sister described their father's pain over false claims that Nicola was an alcoholic and dressed provocatively. Nicola Furlong's Irish friend who was with her that night also gave testimony about how, after consuming a tequila shot, she blacked out for hours, and when she woke up, she was at the hospital. Lead prosecutor Kenji Horikoshi demanded a 5 to 10-year sentence, accusing Richard Hines of showing no remorse and violating Nicola's dignity. The defense lawyer argued there wasn't enough evidence for a murder conviction. After the trial was over, Nicola's father says,
We got her name cleared, and that's what I came out, hopefully to get more of a sentence, but it didn't happen. We went with the Japanese, it's their country. I'll take it. I don't want to ever hear his name mentioned again. So whatever happens from now on, I'm no interest in him whatsoever.
And her mom?
No, I'm looking forward to getting home, meeting Hannah, and just leaving all the baggage that happened in that courtroom, and try to move on from here the best we can.
The heartbreaking case of Nicola Furlong has forced us all to ask, what kind of world do we want to live in? A world where human dignity is respected, or a world where false narratives can distort justice? We all have a role to play in holding society accountable. It is not just up to the courts. It is the responsibility of all of us to ensure that truth, dignity, and humanity prevail. What would you do if this happened to someone you love? Wouldn't you fight for their honor and their memories? Let us all unite to ensure that justice is not just a system, but a force for good. We all remember Nicola Furlong and pray for her soul. For more videos like this, subscribe and share this video to spread awareness. And if you like this video, then you wouldn't want to miss the Todd family massacre.